What's the biggest load of bullshit you've ever heard? You're a good worker. Asterisk gets assigned more responsibility for same pay. On Friday, my boss says to me that he has an exciting new opportunity for me and he'll tell me later that day. The reality is that I was being forced out of my role into a lesser role starting Monday. The previous month, I openly told the plant manager that what he was telling us to do was physically impossible. He refused to believe me and it ended in him walking away. Later that way, my boss comes to me to say that, yes, I was right, but the plant manager didn't like that I said it. This was the fallout of that. My boss was recently promoted. My old boss often told the plant manager no and wouldn't put up with his bullshit. The new boss was a coward who did what he was told. They told me at the end of the day on a Friday to prevent me being pissed all week at work, and I was directly told that I wasn't allowed to tell anyone until Monday. In response, I tanked my productivity to damn near zero until I found a new job. Don't give up. Sometimes it is necessary to cut your losses and start anew. Don't fall for the sunk cost fallacy. There is one Dutch saying I like to remind people of when they seem to get stuck on a dead end or self-destructive road. I live in the Netherlands. Bitter ten have gekeerd dan ten heel gedwald. Translated, better to turn around halfway rather than getting completely lost. It is not in our budget this year to give raises, said months after the company reports record profits and a massive raise for the CEO. At this point, I'm fairly convinced that the entire prediction of an impending recession was a collective fiction promoted, if not necessarily conceived, to justify refusing to pass on any part of record profits to the rank and file as raises, promotions, or bonuses when the spoils of pandemic exploitation became obvious. Looks don't matter. Besides from having actual powers, being attractive is a goddamn superpower. Money doesn't bring happiness. Fuck outta here, miss me with that dumb shit. As far as I'm concerned, money means financial freedom. Who wouldn't be happier knowing you ain't gotta worry about paying bills no more? I once got an unexpected inheritance of $500,000. Overnight, my husband and I went from living in a crummy, moldy apartment, stressing about bills every week, and struggling with debt up to our ears, to owning a house, paying off our debts, and investing in things for the home while finally enjoying some luxuries we'd never been able to afford. We were over the moon when that happened, and I can absolutely confirm that money does buy happiness in the form of financial stability, housing, and the ability to get the necessities without having to do without one or two necessities or fun just to do so. Money doesn't bring happiness. The meek shall inherit the earth. It is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter heaven. All of these tropes are just various methods of telling the peasants to shut up and get back to work so the king and the priests don't starve in their castles and cathedrals. I've always taken the mentality of this to mean you can't buy happiness. I used to work on the defense side of litigation in a corporate setting, and I can't tell you how many times I'd have conversations with plaintiff attorneys in their mid-70s still working 80 hours a week. These guys made my net worth in months, but lost their marriages, friends, and irreplaceable years of their lives for money. Granted, it was tons of money, but still. So yes, if you happen to come into a lot of money, lottery, inheritance, Nigerian scam, etc., and now you don't have to work and can relax, money brought you happiness. But if you constantly chase a bigger set of digits in a bank account at the expense of experiencing what life has to offer, no, it won't bring you happiness. Corporations are people, except they're practically immortal, have more rights than actual people, limitless resources, and never have to serve prison sentences for breaking the law. The only true thing in the entire world is my holy book, written centuries ago by religious fanatics on a particular landmass who weren't even present for the events they narrate. Don't believe your senses, your friends, your experience, your science or facts or logic. Don't believe anything except what I say that my book says is true. So like these parts that say treat everyone with respect and kindness, and these parts about being generous to the poor. Oh no, those parts are a metaphor, just these parts that further my agenda. She's harmless. Just ignore her. No, she's not harmless. She is a vindictive bitch who will do the same to anyone she comes in contact with. Most conspiracy theories. As a project manager, I can attest there is no way in hell that they could pull off half the conspiracies and not blab about it. Seriously, the projects I've worked on are challenging at best. LOL. That Donald Trump is going to save America. I'm in a very red state, and there are more Trump flags going up every day here. 100% of them so far have taken down their United States of America flag to put up one or more Trump flags. These guys want to end the USA, not save it. Trump's already rich. That means as president he'll be incorruptible. Yeah, rich and powerful people never want more money and power. Absolute power never corrupts anyone. My favorite argument with those people is that he donated his salary. When his taxes were finally released, he donated zero money to charity those years and made over $2 billion off the presidency. Never mind the rest of his family. Of course, the book won't contain any hints on how to win the lottery. It is rather a chilling tale of conformity gone mad, said Kent Brockman. I'm just an honest person. No, you're an unpleasant person with nothing nice to say. I'm just being honest. And if you don't like it, you can leave, so ... You are allowed to say whatever comes to your mind, but someone else is not allowed to say they don't like it. Used to close for Domino's ... Part of closing is breaking down the make line where all the toppings are kept and cleaning it out at the end of the night. In order to get out on time, you had to break down the make line early. You simply have to. There's just too much to do at the end of the day, and cleaning the make line eats up a lot of time. One night my district manager came in and saw us breaking down the make line and said we can't do that. If our franchise inspector showed up, we'd lose points for having the make line broken down early. In his words, if we wanted to do something to help get out on time, we should be folding boxes. Boxes, which have nothing to do with getting the store cleaned up. That I can't sue over a misdiagnosis that cost me my leg. It was more than my leg. It was my freedom, independence, ability to work and defend myself. Apparently necrotizing fasciitis is hard to diagnose. This was during COVID and I talked to a doctor through a tablet. I waited for 20 hours with a high fever and no trauma. They said I had a sprained ankle. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps as our country holds folks in poverty and certain electeds brainwash them into keep voting for more of the same. Well, I found out last week from my uncle that my dad never served in the military and had been lying about it for 30 years. When I confronted him about it, he just tried to hand-wave it away. Take your problem to HR. HR is not your friend. They can and will protect the company first. Turn the other cheek. My parents were big on that and it did nothing for me but make me a doormat until I had enough and learned to stand up for myself. I once interviewed a guy for a sales role and mentioned we were looking for someone to sell in South Africa, not the job he came for. And he came out with all sorts of BS about how well he knew the market and then name-dropped several politicians before coming out with the line, "I walk with Mandela and have access to everyone." Strange how he looked blank when I said what did he think of Madiba. Boomer woman pleading only Trump can fix our country after complaining about the new self-funded health insurance that replaced our old plan. Trump wants to pass another billionaire tax cut. He could give less than a flying fuck about our shitty health insurance plan, Marjorie. Being gay is a choice. Self-explanatory. Way more people would choose to be gay. Happy Pride Month, y'all. Also, even if it was a choice, why would someone care so this much? People base their entire religious and political views and even cease relationships with loved ones because they think to men having sex is gross. I'll admit the concept seemed weird and gross to me, but then I turned 12. If I don't like what someone does consensually in their own bedroom, I just don't go into their bedroom. It's a pretty easy to accomplish. Trickle-down economics is a polarizing topic. Some people swear by it, while others believe it only benefits the wealthy. This comment will likely attract a lot of responses.